Hey guys, Crazy Postman here. Well, I wasn't going to make a video over this because my voice sounds like crap right now. I've been sick again. Dang RSV this time. In November it was COVID, and in January it's RSV. I just can't catch a break. As you can see, this is not the ioniq5 that I'm in right now. My ioniq5 is actually in the shop. So I've had a bad rattle in the back hatch for at least the last few months. I'm not really sure when it started or if it's been there the whole time and I didn't notice it. But for the last couple months, it's been driving me crazy back there. I have a little bit of a recording here of the noise. Let's throw it in here. Here comes a bunch of bumps.
Wow, this rattling sounds extra horrible on the recording. Just to remember, the microphone is in the trunk of the car right now, sitting right next to the hatch. So while the rattling was noticeable, it's a little bit exaggerated in this recording here.
So if you're just driving down a smooth road, you don't really hear it. But if you're on bumpy city streets, it is just back there rattling away. So when I bought this ioniq, the closest dealer to me that was ioniq certified was Oklahoma City, and that's quite the drive for me in southwestern Oklahoma. So something little like that, I wasn't really going to drive all the way to Oklahoma City to get fixed, but I noticed a Hyundai dealer in a nearby town got ioniq certified. So the plan was for me to open the app and schedule an appointment for the back hatch with this closer dealer. Well, turns out there was 2 recalls that needed to be done that I didn't even know about. I did 2 recalls recently. When I say recently, it was 3 or 4 months. I don't know when I did it. I made a video of it a few months ago. But I did 2 recalls, and I didn't know there was more, but evidently there is. In the app, I scheduled an appointment for those 2 recalls, and in the note area, I'm like, hey, can you check out this rattle in the back hatch? That was it. I never heard anything from the dealer. The only appointments for this dealer was Monday through Friday, and I work Monday through Friday. So what I did was I drove up there on an evening and left it overnight. My appointment was at 8 a.m. the next day. Well, at 8:46 the next day, I got a text message, hey, we're done with your car. You can come get it anytime. We checked the back hatch and confirmed there is a rattle, but they had to order parts. So they didn't actually fix it, but they ordered the parts and confirmed that it did rattle, so they are going to fix it. But for right now, I have to just go back and pick the car up. So for right now, the only thing that's been done is the 2 warranty items. I don't remember what they are, but I'm sure Editor Crazy Postman will pop in right here and let you know exactly what it was.
Editor Crazy Postman here. This is actually a funny story, and I will explain more later on what happened with those 2 recall items.
So me and the Duckster back there are in Mimi and Papa's car, and yeah, he likes Mimi and Papa's name. We're headed to their house. We're going to pick up Papa, and then we're going to go get my car from the dealer. Across the street from the car dealer, there's conveniently a Target, so I ran in to get some cough medicine. You would think I was buying some hard drugs, as many people that had to look at my ID to get this. What's the world coming to? So now we're headed back home. So today was a little bit weird because I didn't get any receipts, any paperwork, nothing. They just handed me the keys back. They're like, here you go, we'll call you when the part's in. So I've decided I'm not going to immediately post this video. I'm going to just leave it in the bin, and we'll see how long it takes for that part to come in. And we'll close out this video when I get the back hatch fixed and I actually have some paperwork to show y'all and talk about. Right now, I don't even know what recall was done. I guess I should have paid more attention in the app when I scheduled the appointment, but I didn't even really read it. I just like, oh, 2 recalls. I vaguely remember seeing something about ICCU or VCU. I honestly can't remember. Today is January 5th, so we'll call this a to be continued, and I will see y'all when the part comes in for the back hatch. That's a beautiful sunset over there. I don't know that it's going to show up on the wide angleness of this camera, but there you go. So I got a phone call yesterday that the part is in, so we're headed back to Lawton. I am going to leave the car again overnight because I don't have a second car. So the only option I have is to go up there the day before and leave the car, and then borrow my parents' car, and that leaves them without a car. So it is what it is, but I got the phone call. The part is in. It is, what is it, January 17th. But we're headed back to Lawton, and I'm going to leave this car, and hopefully we can get this rattle fixed. Now, as for the recall updates that they performed last time, I actually do not know what it did. I can't tell a difference. I don't see anything different. So I'm not sure what the previous updates did, if anything, to my vehicle. But we are headed to Lawton, and we're going to drop this off again. And hopefully, once and for all, this rattle will be fixed. And here we are pulling in to Billingsley Hyundai in Lawton, Oklahoma. It takes me about an hour to get here from when I leave my house. Well, it is the next day, and I just went and picked up the ioniq5, and whatever they did to fix that rattle with that service bulletin, it worked perfectly. I do not hear any rattles or bangs or jiggles coming from the back hatch anymore. I've opened it a couple of times since I got my car back, and it feels, it sounds much tighter. Like when I hit the open button, it kind of sounds like it pops out, like it's real tight, and then it releases. So whatever they did certainly tightened up the back hatch quite a bit, and there's no more rattles. So good job, Hyundai. So there is a little bit of a funny story here. What actually instigated this appointment is I opened the app and it said I had 2 recalls, and that was December 31st is when I made the first appointment. And it turns out, if you remember a couple of months ago, I went to Oklahoma City and had 2 recalls performed, and turns out it's the same 2 recalls. For some reason they didn't clear them out of my car's records, so when I opened the app it said I had 2 more recalls to go perform. So I scheduled the appointment, and I went ahead and said, hey, fix the rattle at the same time. But it turns out the recalls were already performed. So that's actually hilarious, but it turns out there's no charge for mistakes. Of course, it was their mistake. It wasn't my mistake. So I guess they didn't actually perform the recalls again because it was already done. So the receipt says already performed, and then they had the back hatch warranty repair on there. So we'll go over that receipt right now back in the studio with editor Crazy Postman.
So you can see here, number 1, 9A1 VCU update, previously performed. Number 2, you can see it has to do with the ICCU, and it says previously performed. So for some reason, those 2 recalls stayed in the app months after I had them performed, and I forgot the specific recall that I did previously, and I'm like, oh look, there's more recalls, and I went to do them again. But it's okay, no time was really wasted, because what I needed was number 3 here. It says customer states back hatch has a rattling noise, especially over bumpy streets, and they have concern confirmed Technical Service Bulletin 23-BD-006H-1, used for guidance, recommend bumper guide kit. So they installed two things, it looks like, pad, whatever that is, and then a bumper-T gate body side G81, whatever that is. Then they say they performed the repairs outlined in the TSB concerned, and voila, problem is solved. So that brings us to the end of the video. I appreciate y'all watching my experiences on taking the car to the shop. At least everything is fixed now, and hopefully I don't forget and send it in a few months for these same recalls again. Thanks for watching. I will see y'all in the next one.